Today we're going to discuss, should you tune your edges and why? But we're going to do this as a fun little vibey, vloggy, conversation-y thingy. And on that note, let's drop in, let's go. First, I'm going to try to do a cartwheel, see if we can not die, and then we'll talk about it. All right, let's go, ready? Earlier we were doing some Euro carves in the last video from yesterday. My ankle's like tweaked. That was pretty trash. Talk about, hello. All right, so I'm a massive fan of having edges that are sharp for multiple reasons. One, I want to be able to add a little bit of friction in situations like when it's icy. So I'm like riding down. If I have a little bit of friction, I have more control. Side slipping, very basic. But as I go into the park, big park rider, big dude who likes to do some carving, having sharp edges is going to allow me to have grip in the snow so I can have more control. If I'm doing a trick off of an icy jump, I'm not hesitant because I know my edges are going to be able to lock it in and I can trust it. If I'm out here trying to do some carves, having an edge sharp is actually a really big deal. Now, I do like to detune my edges, and I'll show you just like I detune the contact points. So if I were to lay the snowboard flat on the ground, and then whatever spot touches the snow, and then from that point up to the tip of the board, I will round that off. And sometimes, yes, I use a rock, but usually I use a file. I do that because if I'm on an edge and this part of my board is actually getting in the snow, then I'm actually getting hooked and it's really hard to control my board because it wants to like grip and rip, where I want to have a lot more control. So if I'm only gripping here, then I have the ability to actually control what I'm doing. So detuning that. But then I also just said I like really sharp edges. So I like having super sharp edges from that contact point inward, but I don't like having really dull edges. So then you may be asking, well, you said you like park. Yes, I love park and I love having sharp edges, especially on rails and park, but that sounds like a contradiction. So I'm gonna strap in, see if my ankle's all right. We're gonna cruise down, and then our next stop, we'll talk about why or how I have sharp edges and not die on rails. Let's go. That was absolutely incredible. That's my boy James. I've known that dude for a while. Finding somebody who you can trust, definitely underrated. You need to find somebody you can trust and has a skill. That was mad fun. We're gonna vibe with that dude a little bit more. But as far as now, how the heck do I actually ride rails with sharp edges? I do this thing called a 2-degree base bevel and a 2-degree side. So I'll match it, meaning I'll go 2-2. I go into a shop and I'll say, hey, can I get a 2-2? If they know what you're talking about, that's a good thing. If they don't know what you're talking about, don't trust them. Do not give them your board because they're going to ruin it. I know this from experience. But essentially, when you have a 2-degree base bevel, the sharp part of your edge is going to flare upwards, exaggerating for dramatic purposes and demonstration purposes, but you're going to flare up. And then when you ride the rail, you're actually riding on the bottom part and you're riding most on base material, which is going to slide a lot better than being on an edge. So by getting a base bevel, I can have the ability to do sharp, gnarly carves, ride steep terrain, icy terrain, pipe riding, whatever it is, but I'm not going to die on rails. Literally a game changer. Another like secret, you should not pay more than $20. If somebody's charging you $45 for that, go somewhere else. It's literally like a $20, super easy. Like, it's not that hard. Some shops don't want to do it, but you just ask them or go somewhere else. I found a shop that does it well, so I just stay at the same place, and it's like 15 bucks. I had a homie try to charge me like $45. I'm like, no, we're not paying you $45. I'll go somewhere else. So on that note, we're gonna go try to find our boy, go ride, go vibe. And then we're also gonna talk about another edgy thing. So quickly, let's just talk about detuning between the tip and tail. Essentially the main part of the edge. Well, a lot of rail specific riders who only ride rails love detuning that, making it so that it's not super sharp. That obviously is going to give you the most amount of room for error so you don't crash and don't die, but that's going to be a very niche thing. If you are only riding rails, you ride rope toes and that's it, it's definitely a fantastic idea. And if you're new to the channel, I definitely love having the most versatile stance, board setup, and I want to be able to do anything at any time and just shred the gnar. That is my goal, so that's why I like having this setup that I like. So in conclusion, you got to find a setup that works best for you, but hopefully this video gave you a nice little guide. We're gonna keep vibing, riding, we're gonna cruise down, and if you want to stick around, definitely watch some snowboarding. Let's go. Bye. Woo. Those things get me dizzy. Like so ominous. One-footed riding. Now, let's find out. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I appreciate it. And tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to be dropping a full guide on how to ride one-footed down the entire mountain. We literally go from the top of Keystone to the bottom, and I give you some tips and tricks and a bunch of great information. So definitely come back, and I appreciate you vibing. If you're interested in picking up goggles, tech, hoodies, any awesome products from my company called Bennett, go ahead and check out the link in the description or the pinned comment. And by the way, you're amazing. I really appreciate you being here, hanging out, vibing. I'll see you tomorrow.